Hi, Geeks. This is the officially unofficial Geek channel, Flashback Friday. I am your host, as always, Carrie Quinn, and I am here, and it is 10:54 p.m. on Friday. I said I would be here, and I am here. I kind of flaked out on you guys for Tuesday. I was there on Wednesday, but I flaked out on Tuesday completely. Not completely. I would call what happened completely logical. I took on the task of reading Dark Days Metal, the Metal series, the Metal event, and there's a lot of issues there. There's a lot of content, and I did not finish in time to do that. But here's the thing, you know what? We regroup and we come back kicking and screaming and being drugged from the depths of Hades. We'll go there. Anywho, but today is Friday. This Tuesday, Collected Edition Tuesday, will go on as scheduled. I will have Metal read by then. Believe me, I'm into it. I like it. I'm into it. And if you have read Metal, the event Metal, I have gotten through to I'm at the beginning of the Suicide Squad issue, because I am reading both the Metal main book, the Metal main title, and I'm also doing the tie Resistance tie-ins. So like Teen Titans, Nightwing, Suicide Squad, Flash, that stuff. I'm reading that in between everything. I'll have it done. I will, because I do want to move on to my next collected edition, which I'm pretty sure will probably be taking place. I don't know. You know what? It looks like it's going to be a quicker read, so maybe it'll be a twofer on Tuesday, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one because I do have to still read my floppies for this week. But yeah, so this week on Flashback Friday, I've been really kind of cryptic about it, for good reason. I didn't really want to I had a hard time deciding how I wanted to go about this. So I decided to go cryptic with it. There's something that's out there right now, that's going on right now, that people are dealing with. It's one of those things where it's like, when you know something is imminent and something is coming, and it's hard to know really how to go about dealing with it, especially in a community like the comic book community, like the pop culture community, where so often do we very not well, let me how do I want to put this, and I'm probably going to be more eloquent in my episode description box. I'm going to try to be a little bit more eloquent there in the written word, because that's really where I think I shine a little bit more. Being able to just not, I tend to babble. I don't know. I tend to babble and ramble, and I'm really trying to get away from that, for various reasons, guys. And whew, oh golly, how do I go about this? Most of the time in our lives, we don't get an opportunity like this, where we can show a person or someone what they have, what impact they've had on us. So often do we see things kind of come out of nowhere and kind of shock us and make us feel like, oh damn, like if only I were able, or if only society, as a whole, were able to just, see this coming and say something, like, did this person know who they were? Did they always know who they were? Did they ever have a day that they wondered, quite simply, did I have an impact? And a lot of times people, we don't get that opportunity to say, you really impacted a lot of things. You impacted my life. You impacted so many people. You are loved by so many. And most of the time we don't get that opportunity to say that to them directly, or even indirectly, as it would be on a YouTube channel, as a YouTube content personality person type thing, as I am. That's why, I was like, I had a rough night, guys. Like, I did not have a fun night. I hate winter, and I live in Northern Illinois. And we thought that we had escaped the major snow that had happened in Illinois this week. But then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, we're out and about, and we have to pick up cat food and a few other things. And it's just like out of nowhere, bam, hit by like, they I had a warning come through on my cell phone that said, is like a weather alert on my cell phone. It was like, warning, snow squall. Wait, okay, I've never heard of it put that way before, and that's really weird, because I lived in Illinois all my life, and I've never heard what happened this evening referred to as a snow squall. SQUALL. Yeah. And those that know me personally know that I do have a car, but it is a teeny car. It is a small car, because I opted, because knowing that I was going to, one, it was cost effective issue, and two, because I knew that I was going to be doing a lot of driving. I picked a car that was really good on gas mileage, but tiny, and therefore slippery slidey in these kind of conditions where it's just like major snowfall that happens out of nowhere. But anyways, that was just the icing on my cake tonight. And it was just, I won't even go any further into the details, but you know what? It's okay. I am home now, and I am with you guys. And that's all that matters, because I was not having a good time, and I was going to just be like, you know what? I will push off this Flashback Friday, even though I had a plan and I was ready to go, practically ready to go. I'll just push off this whole Flashback Friday thing and do it next week. But then I thought about it, and I was like, there is no time like the present, because it's kind of like what I was talking about, just a few minutes ago. Like, we put off doing certain things because of time, or I don't feel like it, or whatever. And you know what? Under most circumstances, do whatever whenever you feel like doing it. Seriously, because you know what? This is your life, and this you are the master of your fate, the captain of your destiny, and do whatever you need to do. But sometimes just do it. Sometimes just do it. So here I am. I'm just doing it. And tonight, ultimately, we are going to talk about one person. there is tonight on Flashback Fridays. I've been doing a lot of first appearances in comics, first appearances of characters. Done Catwoman, Harley Quinn, origins, first appearances, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Jason Todd, Peacemaker. That was my first one, I believe. Yeah, I believe my first one was Peacemaker on this series of Friday episodes. And you know, here's the thing though. In the world of comics, you have first appearances, origins. And when we refer to first appearances, we mostly are referring to characters or versions of a character. For instance, Catwoman originally was referred to as the Cat. She wasn't named Selena Kyle for some time, but that first moment she appears is in Batman #1, 1940. Peacemaker did not start with DC Comics. He started with Charlatan Comics back in the 60s as a secondary tale to the Fighting Five. So yeah, like everywhere, first appearances, and they don't even necessarily mean what we think they do. So, but there's also the idea that someone can devote themselves so much to art, the art of writing, the art of visual art, that they end up, you know, littering everyone's existence with things that they have done. And I do mean everyone's existence. Let me tell you something, because who I'm about to talk about, their art, their influence, even if you never opened a comic book in your life, but you've been to the movies and you've seen an Avengers movie, even though you've never read a goddamn comic in your life, if you've watched an Avengers movie, especially one or two in particular, well, actually, like, we could just really just say Avengers movie. If you've watched an Avengers movie but never cracked open a comic, if you've watched the television show Titans, if you can point out Nightwing in a crowd and know that's Dick Grayson as Nightwing, if you know who Tim Drake is, if you know who the Teen Titans are as we know them today, you have encountered this man's work. So not only are we going to eventually dive into and talk about the first appearance of this person's work in actual comic books, we're going to talk a little bit about their legacy before we even get to that. And so tonight on Flashback Friday, we are going to talk about the very first appearance in comic books of the work of George Perez. If this were a live show, there might be people standing, you know, standing ovation, like, yeah, George Perez, holy shit, yes. Because George Perez is the man, yo. Okay, so let me, I've got visual aids to hold up. I got visual aids to share and show on the screen. So let's talk a little bit before we get into much of anything. Let's talk a little bit about George Perez before I show you his first appearance. Let's see here. I'm going to do a share screen here. We're going to do that. Let's see here. So yeah, we're here. We got this. This is fun. This is gonna be great. Awesome sauce. I'm trying to be able to also see myself too here on the screen. So you should be saying Justice League Adventures. This is something that came out recently. The reason why I've kind of like done a small little push in the community, small little teensy bit of one in the community for people to go ahead, do your tributes now. Use hashtags, use tags, all that stuff. Do your tributes now. Do them now. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because late last year, George Perez went public with the fact that he had basically, in a nutshell, inoperable cancer. On top of other health problems the poor guy had throughout his life that affect him regularly. Georgia Perez here basically was like, you know what? This is what's happening, and I'm going to try the best I can do to do what I can. And yeah, he gave us the real deal, and in more that ways than one, and he took the moment for whatever reason. I don't know what was going through his head, but I'm going to take a guess. He looked at the situation and he saw it as an opportunity to allow people into that part of his life, because he could have very well just been like, I'm going to go off and take my ball and go home. And just let us find out when it happened. But did us a real kindness here by letting us know, letting us be able, because you know what? You don't know the man. If you don't know the man, that doesn't matter, because you don't always have to know someone to think that they're worthy of your love and attention because of what beauty they've put in this world. So about, I don't know, I was going to say probably about a week ago, a lot of us that pay attention to comics came across a similar title to an article where it's the JLA Avengers crossover will be reprinted in honor of George Perez. This guy is so beloved and iconic that he got the big two to do something and agree to something that come on. I don't know if anyone saw this coming until it was here. They basically they pulled their collective crap together and decided that they were going to go ahead and just do this. Because here's the thing, they are only printing the major disappointment of this is that they're only printing 7,000 copies, and it's going to be really difficult to get this. I've already tried to talk to my regular LCS, and it's basically like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna try to do what I can for you, but put a couple irons in the fire is basically what I got told. I was ready today. Like, I asked him, I was like, what do you want if you can get your hands on this, on a copy you're willing to sell? What do you want for it? Because this is a special edition just for him. The proceeds go to the Heroes Initiative, which helps comic book creators, where honestly I have a problem with this. One, first of all, pay your creators. Take care of them. George Perez's wife, Marvel, DC, George Perez's wife, should want for nothing ever, considering what he has done for you. And the fact of the matter is that you would be nothing without people like him. You would be nothing without Jack Kirby. You would be nothing without Siegel. You would be nothing without Bill Finger. Know that. You would be nothing without any of those people. His wife should want for nothing in life, simply because this man did this work. That's my soapbox. Yeah, it stands soapbox. Well, this is the Geeks, the OUG, officially unofficial Geeks soapbox right here, right now. Pay your creators. Celebrate your creators. Because without them, you're a bunch of suits that couldn't tell a damn story if you wanted to. Anywho, the JLA Avengers crossover will be reprinted in honor of George Perez, and good luck getting a goddamn copy. As I was told, put plenty of irons in that fire, because wherever you can get, because people are going to get that and probably jack up the price. And that is probably true, and unfortunately very true. When most people, let's go back. When most people try to think of things, that images and such that are iconically well known of George Perez's work, a lot of people point at this, the Infinity Gauntlet, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. If you've watched, if you've never cracked open a comic book in your life, but you have watched an Avengers movie, you have definitely been touched by George Perez's life work. George Perez, obviously, is the artist on the Infinity Gauntlet and other Avengers titles. He is also responsible for the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing. This customer right here in this weird Siegfried and Roy type jumpsuit here. I think it mixes. I'm just going to say right here, it was the times. It was the times, folks. And yes, that is very, very Siegfried and Roy right here. And I love it. I love it. Seriously? Yeah. Okay. This is the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing. It is Tales of the Teen Titans number 44, the Judas Contract, book 3 of the Judas Contract. So it is an iconic story. I believe it was might be wrong. I'm going to throw out possible piece of information out there. 1984. Okay, so it's a possible piece of information that I might have gotten wrong, but I don't have my notes in front of me because I'm trying to just act natural with y'all as much as I can on this one. But that is 1984. 1980. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in saying Teen Titans, the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing was in 1984. I'm gonna say that with an asterisk. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 1984. Yeah, this is George Perez's work, and it's really great that, you know, the first drawings of Dick Grayson as Nightwing, the stuff, the character that is so celebrated right now, that is being written by Tom Taylor, started here, right here, with this issue of the Tales of the Teen Titans. George Perez was, I do have some Teen Titans here. One I have, let's see here, the new Teen Titans number 60. Yeah, I'm gonna show that to you guys here. Yes, this is very sexy. Okay, so got that, right? And then I also have this, which, spoiler alert, is going to be the next collected edition Tuesdays. I'm going to take a break in between, because I have plenty of time to do the whole dark crisis situation, dark multiverse crisis situation, because the final dark multiverse crisis is happening in the summer. So I got a little time. Guys. And we're gonna take the time to read this after I'm done with metal. This collects the first 8 issues of the Wolfman and Perez New Teen Titans Tales. So that is, you know, that. So, you know, here's the thing, like, if you don't know that Perez, you know, did the Infinity Gauntlet, if you don't know that Perez did lots of Avengers, if you didn't know that he was the dude that drew Dick Grayson as Nightwing for the first time, sometimes right after, okay, let's actually go back in time. Let's stop for a second here, because right here we're going to talk about how the iconic event Crisis on Infinite Earths was drawn by George Perez. Now, right after he got done doing this, he wrote and did the art for the new Wonder Woman first issue, right after Crisis of Infinite Earths. So not only was he an artist, he also wrote an iconic Wonder Woman series. Yeah, but we're not gonna get to that yet. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna stop share, and hopefully I don't shut everything down. Okay, great. So I kind of also showed this puppy up, but now that I'm full screen here, this is an issue I picked up recently, of the new Teen Titans. It's number 60. So there were sometimes in the world of comics, if you don't have a lot of experience in it, sometimes you have covers that are drawn by completely different people than what draws the interior, and sometimes it's the same person. So there are times where, like, you could pick up a cover or pick up a book based on, you know, hey, this cover looks pretty dope, you know, and I just really love what's going on in this cover. And it's how you end up with surprises in your collection, because sometimes I buy based off, you know, a feeling I get when I look at something. So that's how I ended up, one, with two covers drawn by George Perez in my collection, and one and one random first appearance of a Robin. I literally remember the day that I bought this. It is Batman 436. The interior art is not done by Perez, but the cover, the part that drew me in, is actually Perez. And this is Batman 436 is the first appearance, not as Robin, but the first appearance completely of Tim Drake. Yeah. I did not realize, I thought that's a cool old Batman cover. I really think that's pretty freaking awesome of a cover. And there it is. It's mine, because it has this whole like really cool like idea of Nightwing. Like Dick Grayson as a child, his parents get murdered, right? And there's like Nightwing right there too. So like that might be one of the reasons that they really got him to do the cover, because that's pretty badass. Because he's the first person that drew Dick Grayson as Nightwing. Whew. And I did not know until recently, one, that this was the first appearance of Tim Drake, and that two, this cover was drawn by George Perez. Another Batman cover that came soon, very soon after that, that I picked up recently because, well, why the hell not? Because again, it was one of those things where I was drawn in by the art on the cover, not really knowing who it was that drew it. I was like, that looks bomb and I want it. And by the way, that happens a lot. I'll be like, that looks bombastic and I want it. And then I'll be like, is the price right? The price was right. This was only $4. So it is another George Perez cover, Batman 441. This is after, I think it's right after Tim Drake's first appearance as Robin, I think. It's either right after or right before it. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check on that one. But yes. So sometimes this is just me, you know, getting drawn in by art that, you know, especially with the two Batman covers that were drawn by him, just me getting drawn in by beautiful art and everything, and just being like, man, I'm going to own that. It's mine now. But so right after Crisis of Infinite Earths, he did a whole run of Wonder Woman. Not only did the art, but also drew it. Did the pencils. When we talk about drawing it, more than likely it is he did the pencils. He did do some inking, even though early on in his career. Well, actually, here's the thing. Legend has it that early on in his career working in comic books. See, the thing is George Perez, like I said, legend has it, started out as a bank teller. He was a bank teller and he was a self-taught artist who was told initially that he could not write anatomy he could not draw anatomy, and he basically was not an inker. He could not ink worth a darn. But then he became, I do want to make sure I'm looking at my notes for this when I'm talking about actual history about an actual man. I want to actually look at my notes. His first job basically in the comics industry was as an apprentice for rich Rich Buckler. Now, Rich Buckler is a artist. He was a big artist in the early 70s, which is when, early to mid 70s, which is when George Perez started working for him. He actually developed the character Deathlock. This is Rich Buckler. Developed the character of Deathlock, and that first appearance of Deathlock happened in, okay, I don't know the first, I think the first appearance might also be Astonishing Tales. Okay, the thing is George Perez was the assistant to Rich Buckler at Marvel Comics, and one day got the opportunity to draw like a little side, secondary side story, kind of a satirical type thing about the creation of Deathlock, kind of a little joke story, comedy story about the creation process for comic book writers. And that is actually the first time that George Perez did the pencils on a book story at all. And guys, he went on right away. This was in, let me check the year just to be sure, because this was Astonishing Tales number 25, August 1974. So this is older than my brother. My brother, who was born in December of 1974. Astonishing Tales number 25 is older than my brother. I just realized that. Sorry, David. So basically there is a two-page section of Astonishing Tales number 25. That's just this little story kind of joking around about the creative process that a comic book creator goes through in trying to develop a new character. It's really cute, and I did read it. And I, as being someone that is also a little bit of a writer and a creator myself, I don't have, the only thing I have published is poetry, but still, never say never on the whole comic book thing, because I have been writing something. I have tried to write stuff. I've been writing stuff. Just any day now I'll finish something. But as a person that is a writer themselves, sometimes the actual writing process and the attempt at the writing process can be something of something a bit upsetting. But it's really funny because it's really cool. Like, let me tell you something what's really, really cool. All right, what's really cool is, let's see here, I thought I had, I'm looking at the information. Okay, so I don't have that right there. Okay. So we're going to get to the first appearance of George Perez's writing. George Perez's art in just a moment, but did remember one thing that I haven't brought up yet. George Perez was responsible for the artwork and creation of iconic characters everywhere. And something is really cool that I did not know until recently is that, let's see if I can get this right here. So he went from 1974 to this little ditty, in 1975. Hold on. Like I said, it's the man's life work. I'm going to try and refer to my to my notes whenever possible. Okay, so he went on and worked with the writers of The Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. This is Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 19, where they introduced the character of the White Tiger. White Tiger is Hector Avala, and he is basically billed in comic book history as being the first Latino superhero, Latino superhero character, is the White Tiger. Hector was created by George Perez. I'm going to say that might be his first appearance as that he drew is probably Hector, the White Dragon, or not the White Dragon, the White Tiger, not the White Dragon. That is something completely different. Oh man, that is something completely different, guys. Sorry. Okay. All right. But this was 1974 as well. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 19, the first appearance of the White Tiger. Hector there is the first thought of as being the first Latino superhero comic book character. And that is a milestone that happened back in 1974. Thank you, George Perez. Let's see here. But so, man. So you've got iconic characters. You've got Nightwing, you've got the Titans, you've got the Infinity Gauntlet Avengers. You've got all these things in this person, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg of everything that this person has done. And probably one of the most iconic writers, because he is the guy that not only did Crisis on Infinite Earths, he is the man that did the JLA Avengers crossover. And let me tell you something. I really want that book. I really want it. Want it. I am probably not going to get it. You know what? If I go ahead and I prepare myself for this appointment now, it won't hurt as bad when it happens. Yeah. But let's get right down to this, because I am about ready to show you guys. I mean, it comes right down to it. We can talk about the first appearances that he's responsible for writing all the time. We can talk about all the iconic covers he's done. We can talk about all the iconic work he's done within books. When it comes right down to it, this is Flashback Friday. All that stuff is flashbacky. But I promised you, in YouTube comic land, I promised you not the first appearance of White Tiger. No. Not the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing. We may go there someday, but not tonight. Tonight I'm going to give you, this was not easy to find, by the way. It took me a while. One, I wish I had it in hand. It took me a while to actually find the actual. I'm going to share my screen with you guys again. Okay. This is the Infinity Gauntlet. That's not what we're here to see. We're here to see the first appearance, the work in comic books of the great George Perez. Here's the first page. It's a really cute story about the creative process that a writer goes through, and just censoring themselves to high heaven. Like, what about this idea? No, that sucks. What about this idea? No, this sucks. And balling up the piece of paper, throwing it in the waste paper can. That doesn't happen anymore. It basically, our waste paper can is the recycle bin on our desktops here on the computer. But this is just, it really is. It's like, you're going through this whole concept of, what are we doing here? What are we writing? We're out late. We hate this. Why can't we figure out what we want to write? What? Nothing's original anymore. It stinks, man. It stinks. And you have like the full waste paper can, right? They work through the night, and it's just, and I might be finding a little bit more like enjoyment out of this than a normal person would, because I get it. I understand it. But it's just, look at this. This is like this frustration. Like, you don't even see their faces. The frustration just over, the way that they're drawn and their posture is drawn, and the animated, like, what about this? It's delivered in that way, and I love it. It's so cute. But this is, definitely the process. And this is the second page. It is literally just these 2 pages. The only part that George Perez did not draw was the figure of Deathlock here. That's the only thing he did not draw, that he did not do the pencils for. That was, this image of Deathlock was done by the regular drawer of Rich Buckler. Yeah. But as you can see, drawn by George Perez. So you have them going through the whole entire evening. Nothing's working out. They're like, the waste paper can is not only full, but it's overflowing. And then throughout the story, like, there's different points of it where they're actually describing the character of Deathlock. And that's why Deathlock is kind of like pulling himself out of the garbage can, because it's like, it's kind of it's a satire on the life of a writer, in that, some of, don't sell your what you think is your worst ideas short, because actually in all of those, waste paper cans is this character that ended up being, who he was. It ended up being their actual idea. So believe in yourself a little bit more, because Deathlock, they say Deathlock was never destined for life, and then here's Deathlock kind of climbing out of the waste paper can. And yeah, so that's it. The guys, that is the first appearance of the art of George Perez. Iconic in its simplicity, and it's a cute story, and yeah, that's, I want to call upon, let's talk about this. Why did I decide to do this video? because I think maybe we never get the opportunity. Like, we've had some people just kind of like, we wake up and I literally, I was a big fan of the music of Meatloaf, and I literally woke up one morning recently and was the first thing that was said to me was that he had died. um like that, like that was hard to hear, especially like right when you wake up in the morning. But um I'm 40 years old, and I've gotten to the point where it's all of my idols, all of the people that have meant something in some way, that has shaped who I am as a creator, and as a shaped in many ways who I am as a creator, in many ways who I am as a person, because of the impact of what they've done. Um, so I'm not exactly sure how to put this, because this should go for anyone. If you have an opportunity, if you have an opportunity to show someone what they mean to you, whether it's someone you know or someone you just know of, do it. Because you know what, this life is so hard, painful, and full of unexpected news. And we've been given this opportunity as creators and as commentators on an art form that we don't normally have. um it's like we've had people, die recently, Leon, you know, and all of a sudden people are like throwing their tributes out there, because that's what we do. We mourn by either being completely sad and distraught, or by remembrance, by celebration of someone's life. And celebrate now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Do it now. Do it now. Put your if you are a content creator like I am, if you're somebody that writes or does videos on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and you have this opportunity, you have this duty, really. Do it. Don't wait. Don't wait for that day where you don't have the opportunity to be right now. Right now, you know, you have the opportunity to put it out there now. Now. Do it. Do it. I want to see, I want to see all y'all do this. Do it. Because we have been given this opportunity for people, for one person that in an industry that is notorious for not treating people correctly. Just do it. Do the tributes now. There is absolutely, I have no doubt in my mind, there's absolutely no chance with under 50 people subscribe to my channel that there's absolutely probably no chance that this person will ever see this video. But just in case, the thing is if you start the trend now, that maybe just maybe one of these people out there will do this and they'll get to see it. I don't have any, idea at all. I don't have any viewpoint in my heart of hearts that this person will ever see this video. But I'm making the gesture all the same. And I hope if you have a platform, make the gesture. Just do it. Just do it. Because there's absolutely no reason not to. So I'm leaving you guys with that thought. If you are seeing this and you are a content creator on Instagram, Facebook, if you have a blog, do it now. Do it now. But this has been, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end this where I kind of cried a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and end this before that happens again. This has been the officially unofficial Geek channel, Flashback Friday, with the first appearance in comics of George Perez. I am your host, Carrie Quinn. I am always here. And guys. Tell people you love them. Tell people you appreciate them. Even if you just like someone, just be like, hey, you know what? You're an okay guy, gal, whatever, person. Either way. This is me in my very, very awkward way of saying, I'll be seeing you. Bye.